I'm your host, Jennifer Pilates. Welcome to another episode of Empowered Within. Hi there, and welcome to a new episode of Empowered Within. I'm your host, Jennifer Pilates, and I am over the moon, honored and excited to have with us today's guest and my friend, Heather O'Donnell, aka High Vibe Heather. Heather is a certified energy healer and human design guide who teaches others how to heal on an energetic level in order to connect with their purpose and transform their lives. And boy, let me tell you, she is here to do that for us today. Welcome to the show, Heather.
Hi, Jennifer. Thank you so much for having me. Such an honor to be here with you again. And I'm excited for the show today where I get to actually do a human design reading for you.
I know. I'm so excited. So, for those of you just jumping in, we have a part one where Heather and I did a great interview and really took a deep dive into human design. And afterwards, we decided, hey, why don't we go deeper with really looking at a human design chart? Because why not? And let's help other people to explore it and see what happens with that. So, before we dive in, please, Heather, share with us a little bit, give us a little background of human design for those who might not have caught our first episode yet.
Yeah, so I like to describe it as a combination of astrology and the chakra system. It's made up of these four esoteric systems, including the Kabbalah and the I Ching. Those are the other elements of it. But it takes all of these systems together, the four of them, and it makes a really detailed, nuanced, energetic blueprint for who you are, who you came into this world to be. So it's about these different archetypes that we embody and how those archetypes show up in our lives and give us the specific type of energy that we are meant to move from. So that's why it's really hard to say like generalizations and put people into a box because we're all so unique. And when you know what your unique strengths are and how your energy wants to work, it gives you this like guidepost, this map for how to move through life with the most ease.
I love it. I'm so excited to dive in with you. I've been doing my homework. I've been doing my own research. You know, I love human design. I love astrology, numerology, all of it. And so, but lately I've really been diving more into human design. I went down a rabbit hole and I figured out based on my human design what colors I'm supposed to be using in my business to energetically be in alignment and then to attract people in alignment with me.
Whoa.
I didn't even know that was I didn't know that was a thing. Did you know that was a thing? I didn't know that was a thing.
I didn't know that was a thing. You can like go in so many tangents with human design
So many.
as far as like
Yes.
how to eat for your
Oh.
digestion, the type of environments that are best for you to like work or meet people in,
Oh, yes, let's know. Let's
live
dive.
in. It's like,
Yeah,
oh
there's
my gosh,
so
there's
much.
so much. So when I do like a general reading, it's fun to dive into all those little nitty-gritty details. But obviously, you can go through life and not know the colors that are correct for your business and, do pretty okay. So I
100%.
love to like highlight and focus on what are the really big pieces that are going to, on the day-to-day basis, guide you.
Love
So,
it.
and even just focusing on those things, a reading is 90 minutes and it's hard to like cram into that. We're
I
not even
mean,
going to get into all of that today because it's
well,
yeah,
the stage is yours. It's a rarity that I hand over the stage, but the stage is yours, so
I love it. Thank you so much. What an honor.
you're so welcome.
So, like I said, it's based on astrology. So, depending on when and where you were born, that specific time is going to give you a very specific imprinting of planetary energies. And so, based on your birth time and location, we were able to pull up your chart, and you are, and I know we had a little bit of a discussion around this, but your energy type is a generator.
I am a generator. I'm a 5-1, right?
You are a, yes, a
And
five
I'm em-
generator.
I'm embracing it.
You're embracing it. That's amazing.
I'm embracing it.
Yes. You have a lot of energy in your chart. So there are 9 energy centers, and these are representing the chakra system. You have 7 of them defined.
Is that
For
a
me,
good thing?
for example, I only have 3 defined. So it's just, everybody's different. There's no good, bad, better, worse. It just is what it is. It just means like you on your own generate a lot of energy.
So, for those that don't know the difference between defined and undefined, what does that mean that when I have 7, you said defined
Yeah. Yeah.
energy?
So we've got these 9 energy centers in the human design system that we work with, starting with the crown, the mind, the throat center. We've got the self center, which is also ruled by the heart center. And then we've got the sacral center, the solar plexus center, the spleen center, the root center. So we've got all of these different energies within us. And so when you have them defined, the way we determine that, it all goes back to the 64 gates. So inside of everyone's chart, there's these 64 numbers, and they're in the same place in everyone's chart. The only difference is which ones you have activated or defined by the planet at that moment you were born. So everybody's got a different combination just depending on the astrology of that moment. So those gates, when you have a gate from one center that meets a gate from an opposing center, that forms a channel. And wherever we have a channel, the center on either side then becomes defined. So you have a lot of channels, which means you have a lot of defined centers. So when a center is defined, activated, that's kind of interchangeable, it means you're generating energy in that particular chakra center. The centers that are undefined, so just to give some clarity here,
Hmm.
they act as receiving dishes, meaning they are like little satellites, like taking in information from your surroundings, from the environment, from the
Mm.
people you're around.
Okay, so undefined
Mhm.
means you're, yeah, you're
Receptive.
taking, you're more receptive to taking on ideas, thoughts of from things around you. Whereas when you're defined, that energy is coming from you. Like you're
Yeah,
rooted, you're grounded, you make the decisions, you're not being influenced
yeah,
by stuff around you.
exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. So that's the difference. So the more centers you have defined, the more energy you are generating, putting out into the world versus receiving energy from the world, if that
Oh,
makes
that
sense.
makes sense. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
So we
Okay.
do have these 5 energy types, and you are what's called a generator. And we determine that because you have your sacral center defined. So the sacral center is the center of life force vitality, sexuality, creativity. And if you have that center defined, then you are somebody who has access to that type of energy throughout your whole life on a very consistent basis. So, what that looks like is you wake up in the morning and you're ready to go. You like to just go, 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 keep busy, keep busy. And generators are meant to do the work, they are here to do work. Not every type is here to do that. And that's really interesting, isn't it? Because
It
we
is interesting.
are conditioned to believe in we're in a society where we have to, unless you find your way around that. But that's the caveat. But as a generator, it's you want to do work because you have the energy, and just sitting around doing nothing is probably pretty difficult for you. Sit on your hands and be like, oh, okay, rest.
It's very challenging, very challenging.
Yeah. And so you're meant to use your energy throughout the day doing work that you love. So it's not just any work, but work that you love. And as you do work that you love, it's like a self-feeding. It feeds you, it nourishes you, it gives you more energy. And that's that feeling of satisfaction that you receive from putting in a good day's work. So there's these thematic feelings that will let you know whether you're in alignment or out of alignment. So for a generator, the thematic feelings are that feeling of satisfaction from like, yes, I used my energy today doing something I really love to do and I feel satisfied, versus the feeling of frustration, which comes when you do things out of obligation or like, oh, somebody's got to do it. So I've got the energy, I might as well. I
Mm.
love to say to generators, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Because otherwise, we would spend all of our energy just doing all the things that need to be done and take on too much. And then you get resentful and like, why isn't anybody else doing it? And
Mm-hmm.
why do I have to
Mm-hmm.
do it all? And the thing is, you don't, and that's where boundaries come in. And we need boundaries for ourselves, to be like, no, that's not feel in alignment. And so, how we know then what's in alignment for us is as a generator, your body is going to give you a physical signal. So, with that sacral defined, you're going to have a gut response. And a gut response is, some people feel it, some people hear an internal sound. But if you feel like a rise in energy in your gut, or you're being pulled towards something energetically, or some people hear an audible, then like that is your sacral center telling you that it has the capacity, the bandwidth to do that thing that was put before you. And you are meant to respond. You're meant to respond to that sensation that you are either hearing or feeling. Whereas if something is not in alignment for you, or you don't have the energetic bandwidth for it, because the sacral center will let you know moment by moment what you actually have the capacity for. Then it's going to be either like a drop in energy in your gut, or a feeling of being pushed away, or an internal audible, And so when we like really tune into our bodies, they're telling us, our bodies are always like connected to this greater knowing of what's actually right for us. And when the more we say yes to the things that are right for us, that we have the capacity for, that we feel drawn to, that excite us, that light us up, the more we stay in the trajectory of our destiny. Because it's like we are tied to like the cosmos in this way, that we came here with a destiny to fulfill. And so every little thing that comes your way, you are meant to respond to based on those sensations. And it takes us a while to master, like really tuning in. This world is full of distractions, keeping us not aligned with our bodies, mostly in our heads. And we're not meant to make decisions based on our thinking minds. The mind in human design is considered the passenger, and the body is the vehicle. The passenger is just supposed to sit back and enjoy the ride and allow the form, the body, to guide you. So human design also tells us about our unique decision-making process. So for you, it's two parts, because you have this gut response that's guiding you moment by moment, but you also have your emotion center, your solar plexus center defined. So because you have that energy activated and you are generating this emotional wave on a consistent basis throughout every moment of your life, you don't get a break from that. You're riding the roller coaster of emotions. You have what's called emotional authority. So what that means is you are meant to ride the full emotional wave from low to high to back to this place of neutrality before you commit to anything. And if you've ever made a decision like on an emotional high where somebody was like, "Oh my God, you want to go to Vegas with me tomorrow?" And you're like, "Yeah, oh my God, that sounds great." And then you wake up tomorrow and you're like, "What did I do? I don't, what?"
Hmm.
So if you allow yourself the time to go through that full emotional wave, what seemed like a really great idea when you were excited, you're going to feel differently about it by the time you ride the wave down and come to a neutral place.
So
And
true.
that neutral place is where you're meant to then make the commitment from because you've allowed enough time for all the information to come in. And also, like your emotions are telling you different things.
Hmm.
Like what felt exciting to you at first, you're like, then you think about it and you sit with it and you're like, well, you know what? I actually don't want to do that. So your idea of what you want to do could definitely change. So riding that emotional wave, allowing yourself to come to a place of being neutral, where you're not too excited, you're not too upset. You're just like, yeah, okay, I feel grounded in this decision. My gut says yes. Okay, let's do it. Or, my gut says no. I feel terrible about this. And
Right.
now I'm in a neutral
Not
place
happening.
and I'm not doing it. So, knowing that you have to give yourself the patience of moving through those emotions will save you a lot of trouble. A lot of,
Trouble, frustrations. Yes, I've been on both sides of that.
yes, because people who are emotionally defined, they tend to, want to react from their emotions. And that is the test here is to not react, to just feel it and wait. And I feel like when we react to something in the moment is when we tend to get in trouble. We say things that we regret. We commit to things that we regret. And so learning to be non-reactive, really is the challenge for the people who have emotional definition.
That makes a lot of sense. I've been challenged lately with things like that in my life. And even the other day, I was on a podcast and I didn't know that I was being set up when I went on this podcast
Whoa.
and in a challenging way. And so there was a piece of information that was thrown at me and not in a very salty, very shady way. And I just sat there and I thought, this isn't my house. I'm not going to be rude. I'm just going to navigate past this. I'm not going to engage with it. I'm going to navigate past it. So I do. And the energy, the energy flipped and it was lovely, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? That person was coming on my podcast the next day. So I had an opportunity to sit with some things that evening. And the universe was like, now you know why you felt like something was off. And I was like, yeah. And that morning, just what you're saying before the interview, I didn't want to have this person then because she had already pre
Yeah.
warned me that she was going to bring up the same topic on my show. And I thought, so I had my blueprint of how I was going to navigate the show. And when you talked about like you're going to have a reaction in your body, when I tell you that my nervous system was on edge and shaking
Oh,
beforehand
wow.
because I knew what was coming, but I also was given exactly what to say, and
Oh,
which was quite powerful. And so I had my blueprint of questions and we're going through, and I thought, okay, this is great. There was a storm coming outside, and I had prepared her for this. I said, I don't know how this is going to go. She took one of the questions, manipulated it, turned it into where she wanted to bring in the information that she threw at me and her.
oh my
And
God.
that's when I looked at the person and I said, well, I'd like to know what's so triggering about my podcast for you. There's lots of different empowered within podcasts.
Yeah.
What is it about me that's triggering you? And it was dead silence. And she goes, well, I didn't know there were other podcasts named that. And I said, there's a ton. And it was like here to here. It was interesting because she was doing it in a way of coming at it allegedly from love and light. But No, 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 no. You sought me out. And again, I navigated the energies and changed it by the end.
Yeah.
And then lo and behold, I found out some stuff that happened and I went, oh, she projected everything onto me. I forgive her. It is what it is. But I thought, my old self,
Oh,
my old self, one would have left her podcast. My old self on my podcast would have shut her down and just been like, we're not doing this. But no,
yeah.
I was like, no, I'm going to keep on the trajectory here
Mm,
and work through and set my healthy boundary, stand in my lane, right? Learn
yeah.
that empowerment from within,
Yeah.
what's right and what's wrong. And, at the end of the day, it's my podcast. I'll edit whatever I want. I mean, she's going to leave it out the way that she did, which is fine. That's her podcast. But it's so, I wanted to share all this because what you're saying about the reactions,
Yeah.
I have such a physical reaction when something is not good. And when I tell you shaking, I mean, yeah, like, and it's uncontrollable. And
Wow. I
I,
bet
and
that took you
it's,
so much to learn how to be with that.
well, and to navigate it because you have to navigate of, is this as dangerous as it feels? Is
Mm,
this as much of a threat as what it feels?
yeah.
Or am I just getting this serious heads up of you're about to walk into a situation and you need to have all your shields up, et cetera, et cetera. And so
Yeah.
that's taken time to learn and to
Wow.
discern. Yeah. So
I
totally.
love that example because it talks to how your body is very aware. And your mind was like, I'm okay, I gotta pause. I don't know where to go with this. But your body is like, warning, warning, something's not right.
Oh, my whole normal self wouldn't have even done either. No, I would have never. But it was one of those, no, I knew there was something. And at the end, it ended up being a beautiful, both ended up being beautiful podcasts between us and the energies. And you could tell this was a divine meeting. It was set up, but it was interesting in how she came in and then
Yeah.
wanted to, and so I just stood in my lane and was like, this is where, I'm standing.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so,
that's a
yeah,
really
know that.
powerful example for her. Show
Mm.
her like, no, 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 you can't steamroll me.
No, and I looked at it like on her. I mean, I was so shell shocked when I was on her podcast that I was like, what do I even say to that? And so, meanwhile, I had actually already answered that question off air. So she knew it became a situation about the name of my podcast, which was divinely given to me from God, empowered within. And then strategically business wise, you add your name, you add something.
Yeah.
Because if you ever want to hand it off, there is a value to that. So there's a piece of advice for anyone who wants a podcast or even a YouTube show. You always add something to it so that there is value so you can extract yourself and put someone else into it.
Hmm.
And so she has the domain name empowered within.
Oh.
.com, which I had looked at years ago, but I didn't really need it because everything goes through jenniferpilates.com. So it wasn't a big deal for me, but for whatever reason, my podcast, because of the wonderful publicity that it has, was coming up every time someone put in empowered within to look for her. And so, but I didn't know that. Like, I didn't,
Yeah.
what do I know? I'm just doing what I'm guided to do. And so she was doing what she was guided to do. And once we got to that plateau, then it all made sense for everybody. But it didn't quite start out that way.
Wow.
And I really had to sit with it because I knew that there was a deeper meaning there. I knew that there was something deeper. And you know what? We became like beautiful friends by the end.
Oh.
But it was how it started that it was so jarring to me
Yeah.
because after everything that I've been through my whole life, let alone the last 2 years, it's like, God bless you if you think you're going to cross me. God bless you.
You don't know who you're dealing with.
God bless you. I've been like, so it was so fascinating. I was impressed with myself, honestly,
Yeah.
because my old self would not have been so articulate or kind.
Yeah, it sounds like you are very gracious.
Yeah, because you have to learn and you have to grow, right? And you have to go through, like what you're saying, through the chart, feeling things and understanding and looking at everything with grace and saying, well, what's really here? And that was the blessing that the universe gave to me of me being on her show first to prepare me for what was coming to my show. So I
Love
had all night to think and I was like, why? And then I'm like, well, what, how am I triggering her? Like, what's the issue here?
Yeah.
And so that's what it, became about. But yeah, no, those visceral reactions. I mean, I have significant ones within my body. I mean, even just going to the grocery store, like there are hard yeses and hard nos all day for me.
And you are somebody who it sounds like lives in alignment with those
I try.
feelings. Like you allow your body to guide you
I
instead
really
of
have. I really,
drowning
it's
it all out, numbing out, and then
right. And I've done that. I've gone through the stages of numbing it out. I've gone through the stages of not knowing anything. And now I'm really wholeheartedly in a surrender to I'm going with the flow. What does that look like? What does that mean? Even down to my business changing and rebranding and things changing. And I'm
yeah.
guide me. Where do you need me? And that's not how I always operated because of how I grew up and who I am. There was always that protective of those shields that were up. So it's so interesting that I have a defined sacral center because my first half of my life, talk about never being in your body and never grounded. And I was
Oh,
always trying to ground through well, that was the one thing that everyone would always say, like, look at your sacral is off, your sock. If something goes out, it's always my SI. So
oh,
any of my stuff, and ever since my car accident in 97, any of my kind of stuff, it's always the SI. It's always the sacral area that area speaks to me.
wow.
Hmm.
Have you experienced like burnout a lot through work?
I have to be very careful
Yeah, that's
because
pretty common.
I can go all in. I can really burn myself out. I can really just go, 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 go. And the last 9 months has been quite the shift for me of learning this balance to balance out better. And now I'm aware of, okay, this is the energies of when you live in certain places where you feel this way. This is how you feel here. And basically, I have prayed upon how can I bring them together
Mm,
in a happy place so I don't have to go from one to another and I can just be and
yeah,
not burn out.
yeah, yeah.
Because it's so easy for me to just, I could sit, if I'm in flow and in alignment, and I did this the other day, I forget what I was doing. I mean, I would say 5 hours went by. I don't even think I had a sip of water,
Oh,
but
wow.
I was so in it.
Yeah,
That's what was happening.
that's amazing. I love that. Like, oh, flow state. You know, you're like in
Oh,
your wheelhouse, you're doing your
hmm,
thing. Like, this is what I'm here to do right now. That's amazing.
yeah, it's really
Yeah.
special. And that's why human design is so important and the astrology is so important because the more you know about yourself, the more it makes sense. And then you're
Yeah.
like, oh no, this is a me thing.
Yeah.
This is how I operate. You spend all that time on your car trying to figure out the seats and the radio and blah, blah, blah. Why would you
Yeah.
not figure it out within
Figure out
yourself?
how your own body and energy system functions. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. And the world is such a better place. And you are such an empowered badass at that point.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because the example you just gave, nobody can mess with you when you know, like, oh, something's up here, and I am going to tune in and pay attention how to navigate this instead
Right.
of just shooting from
Right.
the hip.
Right. Because someone can be coming at you with one projection of energy, but really behind that,
Yeah.
generally speaking, is someone that's hurt. And the
Yeah.
question is why are they hurt?
Yeah. And you really like nailed that with that question of what is triggering you. And it kind of flipped it on its head for you.
Totally, totally. And it was just like, and then it was just like, okay, can we, just, I'm here to highlight you, right? Like I'm here to do you. And like I said, it became two beautiful people coming together who divinely were given the same name at different times for different reasons. And she's such a talented, energetic human being. I mean, just like I would refer people to you, I would refer people to her. So it was like, it was so interesting how how that angst brought
Yeah.
us together to bring beautiful energy together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that speaks to the times, to the eclipse season, to the 2025 numerology,
My goodness.
right? Anything that isn't authentic is going to be exposed,
Yeah.
any person, place, or thing. And so I just feel like it was just such a beautiful, I mean, because you figure my podcast is going to be 4 years old in May.
Mm.
So that's a lot of energy for someone to hold on to for a while,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I'm just happy that it was able to get cleared out and released in the eclipse season.
That's amazing.
Hmm.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I got a new friend out of it, and she's amazing. Like she would be such a great person in our wheelhouse.
I
Yeah,
love
but
that
it was
story.
so weird how it started, and
Yeah.
I felt like it was just such a huge test from the universe.
Yeah. And it really showed you like your own evolution and progression of like, wow, the contrast between how the old me would have handled this versus who I am now, because I've spent the time to get to know myself. I've spent
Hmm.
the time to be with the feelings in my body and discern what they are telling me. And
Right,
that's what human design is wanting us to do. That's how it's guiding us to do. So it's so powerful in that regard because we are energy. At the end of the day, like, yes, we have these physical bodies, but we are energy. And how our energy wants to work and the specific way in which the frequency we are at is going to call in or repel other types of energies. And so
right,
it's all about like, how do I fine tune my energy, raise my frequency, being the most authentic version of myself? And that is the key there. Like the more authentic, the more true and honoring to yourself that you can be, the higher your frequency and the more in alignment opportunities and people you'll call in. It's that resonance. So that's what really draws me to it, is that it's this huge permission slip that says, be you, go all in on what's right for you. And the universe will take care of the rest.
100%.
Yeah. So the next part of your design then is called your profile. And your profile is made up of two different numbers. And it's interesting because it's like we have this binary of consciousness, this part of us that's we're acutely aware of, those our personality, who we think we are, versus our design, the unconscious part of us, who we really are, and other people will know us more for who we really are than who we think we are. And so people will see in us traits, ways of being that we don't necessarily know we hold. And so the profile is illuminates that for us, helps us to see, oh, this is a whole other side of me that I wasn't very aware of. And now that I can see this, I can start to accept more parts of me. So you are what's called a 5-1 profile, which is nicknamed the heretic investigator. So the line 5 is the heretic, and it's called the heretic because you are somebody, the line 5 energy is the energy of somebody who gets projected on to be like the savior. Like,
You don't say.
you, you know how to fix my problems, and I'm going to come to you and expect that you come up with a solution for me because I don't know what to do. And so the quality of your solution then is your reputation hangs on that. So
No pressure.
no pressure. So for a line 5, it's super important that you are aware of your own limitation. Like, what actually can I solve? And what can't I solve? And leave those things alone. Because if you say, oh, sure, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll try and help you and fix it, and then you don't and you can't, then they're like, you don't know what you're talking about. So
Right.
just, okay, know that people are projecting onto you based on the energy that you have, that you are somebody who knows how to solve problems and come up with these out of the box solutions. And if you can't, then they'll burn you at the stake. The
Right.
heretic, that's where that comes from. So you have the energy of a leader. The energy, it's also called like the general. You step in times of going to battle and you direct people. Like, this is the way we want to go. This is what you want to do. And then as soon as the situation, the battle is over, you can feel like you're invisible. And suddenly nobody's calling on you. And you're like, wait a minute. I was
Did I
just
not just save you? Did I not just save your life?
I was so popular an hour ago, and now I'm like a wallflower. So take that as downtime until the next emergency when somebody needs you again. That's just the cycle
So
for
true.
aligned five. So, yeah, the importance of being aware that people see you that way and they are going to come to you expecting this. And then, okay, what can I do and what can't I do? And being really clear. And then having boundaries around that. I'm sorry, I don't have what you're
Right.
looking for. Then the line one is what's known as the investigator. So it's the like the foundation. The line numbers go 1 through 6. Line 1 at the base is the foundation where you are somebody who, this is the unconscious part of you,
Okay.
who wants to know all the details in order to feel secure. You have to know everything about it in order to feel like I can wrap my head around this and I feel good moving forward. For a line 1, researching things, asking questions, reading books, studying, like really knowing everything about a topic is very important to you. So if we were going to go out to dinner, you would be the one looking up the menu online, finding out the parking situation. Do we have reservations? What's the best time to go? Like, reading the reviews.
I have such an example to give to you. So when I wasn't living near my mom and she would come and visit, like one, I've done numerous things in my life, but I've been an event planner, I've done all this stuff. So there would be a binder. So whether she came for 3 days or 4 days or 10 days, there was a binder.
Oh
And
my God, I love this so much.
there were events for every day. There were 3 events for every day because you don't know how you're going to feel. And what if
You
something
have to have
changed?
options.
Options. You have to have options, but you also have to. And then at this one point, we started in Scottsdale and we were driving all the way up to the Grand Canyon. So I had weaved the way of the bull, exactly what you're saying. I knew where we were going to stop for water. I knew where we were. Like, I obsess and love doing things like that. And people don't understand why I would rather drive cross country than get in a plane and go. And this last time, like a month or so ago, I
Yeah.
did get in a plane and it was fine. But I love the journey and I love planning stuff like that. Oh my gosh, oh, that's like heaven to me.
That element of control too,
You think?
because you've got a plan, it's all laid out, and that gives you
Mhm.
security of, okay, well, if this goes wrong, then I can go this way, I can do this. You have a backup, and
Mhm.
you need that, and that's correct for you. So
Right.
just
Yes.
owning
I
like
love that.
that's
Hmm.
actually makes me feel good. And when I feel secure, I can take bigger risks in the world.
Oh, I love looking at it that way.
Yeah.
I
So
love
really
that.
owning this is good for me. This is what I need in order to show up in a bigger way.
Oh, I love that. So I want to ask this question. So the 5-1, and this is so
Yeah.
spot on for me, everyone listening, watching, does the 5, because I also am a life path 5.
Oh,
Is that
interesting.
I was wondering if that's a coincidence or if
Well, I like to say there are no
Right.
coincidences.
I don't really believe in coincidences either. Because five, right? Like they come into the world and it's all about adventure and this and that and learning how to balance fear and insecurities with having an adventure.
Oh
So
my God.
everything that you're describing is describing my number five, which has taken me all this time in my life to figure out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I can go and live in Florida if I have a travel van outside that's ready to go in case there's a hurricane. Then yes, then I can go and live there and there is no problem, right? Like we just solved the 5-1 issue and the number of life path. Like it just makes so much more sense. And I think that what I want people to hear is like, for me anyways, being a 5-1, exactly what Heather is saying. I can get on my unicorn and fly all day long, but I also have to have logic about where I'm flying to and how I'm getting back
Yep.
and being able to wrap my head around something.
Yeah.
So to be able to have both of those and to hear it coming from you now, it's like, oh my God. And even though I know some of this, when it comes from someone else, it has more weight.
Yeah.
And
It's validation.
right, it's validation of owning who you are versus who people are projecting onto you or saying, you're so ridiculous. You have a binder. Oh, Little Miss Control has a binder. Do you know what I'm saying? No,
Yeah.
there's a reason.
And really owning that and be like, yeah, I have a binder
And
and
it's
you're gonna be
always glittery too.
grateful.
It's glittery and it's got pens and highlighters.
Yeah. You're
Mhm.
gonna be thanking me when it's time to eat.
Exactly. Oh,
That's
don't
what
get me
it
going
tastes
on
like.
what I pack for a car trip, especially when I'm driving cross country. Oh my
Love
God.
it.
Even if I'm going 8 hours. Like I'd rather go 8 hours than go an hour. An hour, 20 minutes to me is, oh God, so painful. I'm like, really? Like I have to drive like 20 minutes? Oh my God. Like, oh, I can drive. Oh,
Is it even worth
I'm
it?
like, oh, it's 8 hours? Awesome. Let me get my pillow and my blanket.
Oh my God. You're in for it the whole journey.
I'm in.
Oh God, sorry, the sun is like
No, I love it on you.
coming
As long
through
as
my
it's okay for you.
I'm good, but the lighting is probably terrible.
No, it's totally fine. So I love that. I love the validations that you're giving. I love, oh my God, like I just want to go get a binder right now and
Go get a bite. Yes, own that. That's
oh,
so
and like
you. That is so
it's
you.
so me to make plans. Like even like the universe drops a hint and I'm already researching it and I don't even know if that's going to happen and I've already got
Yeah. Oh God. But
hmm
that's right, because then it gives you the time to think through all the scenarios. And even just thinking through the scenarios is comforting.
Well, it's comforting, and for me, it helps release a lot of fear and insecurities around, especially around decisions, whether it's business or life or moving, that
Yeah.
are ones that are going to stretch me, which
Yeah.
is why I'm here being a Life Path 5, being, I do require some sort of adventure, but hey, the grocery store can be an adventure too. But I also am a homebody and really like to nestle and all that kind of jazz. So,
Yeah.
I feel so good right now.
It's amazing. I actually did prepare like a full report for you that I'll email to you.
My gosh, I'm so excited. You're so sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, because I was like, it's gonna help me prepare for the
Oh,
reading
this is
I'm doing.
so, I'm just like, I have goosebumps. I'm so excited. I just want to plan a trip. I'm like,
Good. I got your juices going. You're
it
thinking about it.
explains why I was such a good wedding coordinator and event coordinator
Oh,
when I did that. Oh, I
yeah,
was in seventh heaven.
I
Seventh
bet.
heaven.
I bet you were.
Mm.
The next part is the channels, which we don't even have time to get into because like we're almost an hour already. But
Oh my God, I
when
didn't even
you
know.
read through your channels, you're going to be like, oh, now it makes even more sense. It's like all the different parts of your design align to explain like why you are the way you are. So,
Okay, so here's a question that I have because I don't know the answer to this.
okay.
In looking at human design, is there a place within there that guides someone to maybe what their life path is, why they're here?
Yes.
Okay.
So that is going to be your incarnation cross. And the incarnation cross is the energy of the conscious sun, conscious earth, unconscious sun, unconscious earth. So it's the
Oh.
first two gates, the of the unconscious and the unconscious side. So the sun energy is like 70% of what you radiate out into the world. So a combination, but the earth is what what grounds you. So, we've
Mm.
got the sun is like how we shine, and then the earth is like our grounding force. So when we combine those four different gates, it tells us the incarnation cross, which is like the synopsis of
Mm.
your potential of what you're here to do if you're living according to your strategy of your energy type and your authority. So if your strategy is to respond, your authority is to wait the emotional wave. So when you do that, the energies that move through you explain that. So I can tell you what yours is.
Mm.
So you have the left angle cross of defiance.
Sounds like I'm naughty.
It's a combination of the gate of receptivity, the gate of creativity,
Mm.
the gate of sensitivity, and the gate of mental solutions.
Ooh, what a mixed bag we've got going on there. What do we
Yeah,
do with that?
yeah. So it's people who always seem to defy the collective's general direction by following their own. The,
Hands down.
and the ability to move others away from the status quo. So you're like here to be like, hey, everybody, why are you going that way? What about this way over here? It totally aligns with your profile of being like out of the box solutions. And
Mm.
so everything just like
My
backs up.
whole life has been that. If everyone's going right, I'm going left.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a very short synopsis.
Yeah, I love that.
Um,
That's
there's a
cool.
book I have called The Book of Destinies that gives like a very
Mm.
long description of everyone. So that's always fun to read.
Ooh,
Yeah.
we'll
But
have to link that for people.
yeah.
Yeah, that
Any
would be
other
real.
questions?
Yes. So I had one, and but I think you touched on it a little bit. I
Okay.
wanted to know if there's an area in the human design chart where it points out like where a better environment for someone, a specific person to be. Like, oh, you're actually really, drawn to the sun, or oh no, you're actually better in a colder environment, or oh, you're actually I was wondering because I didn't know the answer to that.
Yeah. So there is a specific part of your design that's called environments, and that will tell you where you are most like aligned
Mm,
to be. So let me find yours. It's
because
so
there's a
good.
lot going on behind these scenes.
Yeah, it's
Well,
good.
there's always a lot going on with me, but really, there's a lot going on behind the scenes now.
But really, okay,
But
let me
really,
find yours.
oh, this is so flipping fast. See, I think these are the questions that people don't know
Yeah.
because I feel like there's a lot of people out there who claim, like, oh, I'm going to do your human design chart, but don't go to the depth. Heather's been doing this forever. So she's like digging
Wild.
in, like layer to layer, like peeling you back. And that's what I want people to know. And that's only the people that I work with that are so authentic, that are the experts in with what they
Aw.
do.
So yours is called markets.
Oh.
So for you, like you work well when you can see things that are laid out. Like you're not somebody who's going to want to hide everything behind a cabinet door. You want things kind of like visible so you can see them. And you do okay or well working in like a coffee shop or a busy type of environment where there's like a lot of other energy happening, a lot of other people, there's movement, you can see things, you have access to, oh, I'm going to go get a coffee and oh, I want to go talk to that person over there. And like you just have everything you need in that space. It helps you to be able to like dial in and get your whatever you need to get done. Versus me, I'm a caves environment. It's pretty much the opposite. I'm like, I'm gonna go to my own quiet place. I'm going, nobody bother
That's
me.
so funny. That's what I would think that I am because that's kind of how I've been working. But there are times, like, even when I'm working, though, I'm watching the birds outside, or if I'm sitting and there's like a water fountain, like, but I guess, I don't know, I just haven't been around people very much.
Yeah, maybe experiment with
Maybe I
that.
need to experience, yeah, I need to like,
And
because
see,
it,
because maybe it
mm,
will energize you in a new way,
yeah.
like vibing off of other people's energy, even if you're not interacting with them, just their
Mm.
presence could like light things up for you.
It's like being on an adventure and not all at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So that's work wise. Is there anything that tells you about environments for living?
Well, this would apply to, so for example, then in your like home area living, the markets would apply as you want to be able to see what you have. You don't want it like my
Like
dad
I'm
is
obs
also this.
Oh, if I open up my closet, I want to see all my flip-flops that match all my sundresses.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's
but in
a
my kitchen, I
stability.
want everything nice and neat and clean, right? But yes, no, when it comes to stuff like, yes, I do much better when I can see
Yeah.
where is everything and where that is. Now, how would that play out in the geographical area markets, or is that something very different? Like, what
So yeah, this wouldn't really
doesn't
not
do that?
you could have the market's environment no matter where you are geographically.
Got
Yeah.
it.
So this isn't like astrocartography. It's more like what is the kind of environment in which I'm going to flourish?
Oh yeah, I need to see
Are
all my books out.
Mhm.
I need to, and I like to like make colors and you know those people they were doing a rainbow
Yeah.
with their books for a while and I got
Yeah.
obsessed with that. But because I've been on this journey the last 2 years, I have not had the advantage to really do that with my stuff because I've
Oh,
been living in other people's environments, short, Airbnbs, whatever it is.
yeah.
So I have my stuff around, but I haven't been able to ground and nest
Yeah.
in that. So I've been very challenged
I bet.
in that area, very, very challenged.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I have my own place, oh my gosh. And I also grew up where my mother would literally like every season change the entire house.
Oh,
So
wow.
your room, your sheets, your curtains, your comforters, like it was so cool, which ironically goes with my number 5, which is it's so ironic. I need change,
Yeah.
but I equally need stability and security at the same time. So it's
Yeah.
how do you bring that into your life? And I feel like a lot of empaths and highly sensitive people are like that. How do you bring the adventure to you in a safe, secure way?
Yeah.
And it's the little ways like that. I love the market. You said markets, and I immediately thought of Mexico. I thought of Puerto Vallarta market. And I was like, markets? We're going to Puerto Vallarta?
I
That's where
love,
my head went.
well, if you think about it, when you're walking through a market, everything's on display.
I love
Where
that.
you're choosing and you're like, oh, do I want this? Do I want that?
It's like a
What do I need?
farmer's market. Or back
Yeah.
in the day, they used to have this huge flea market in Fort Myers, Florida, if anyone's ever been. It was miles and miles and miles long. Oh my God. Like I love something like there's just something cool about it. Like you're saying, everything's out and
Yeah.
touchy-feely and
Yeah. And that's for you how you would flourish in your like immediate environment.
isn't this so cool, everyone? I mean, these are all the little nuances that I feel like you don't always know to ask, or that you
Yeah.
don't even really know that's in your chart. And it may not be for that person that's reading for you. And that's why I think it's so great that Heather was so wonderful that wanted to come back and do this today so that we could dive and go into different angles and look at different things with the charts. As we close up, because Heather's time is precious and I could talk to her for hours and on end.
I could say yes. I
I
could go
mean,
on.
easily. What would you like people to know about human design? What do you want people to take away knowing how you can truly help and benefit their life with what you bring to the table with human design and your knowledge and expertise?
Yeah, that's such a great question. So, what drew me to human design was I felt really stuck in my life at the moment where it was introduced to me. I was like living for other people. I was exhausted. I didn't even really know who I was because I lived based on the outside influencing my inside. And human design like flipped it for me. It gave me an understanding of who I am on the inside so that I could start to project that into my outside world. So it changed my focus. And changing your focus from external to internal, it gave me the opportunity to build a relationship with myself that I hadn't before, and to really understand who I am and how I am in the world. What is the influence that my energy has? What is it that I'm here to do? Because it's not to just be the support person or the person that's on call, like looking to solve everybody else's issues all the time. No, I'm here to do something that's for me. And so when you have that more foundational sense of purpose, that's no, my life is for me. I have something I'm here to do that's independent of the people in my life. It really changes everything. And for me, I just became a lot more fulfilled and a lot happier because suddenly I felt this deeper calling, this deeper connection, and my life, I it kind of fucked it all up in the best way possible because everything that was out of alignment had to go. And as soon as I started living in alignment bit by bit, I watched these things that these relationships, these circumstances just fall out of my life. And it, of course, it was painful, but you have to sometimes go through that to come back into alignment. And then things get better than you could have ever imagined.
Right. It sounds like quite the Phoenix moment, some would
Yeah,
say. Definitely a come to Jesus moment. Definitely. You articulated it beautifully in expressing the lessons and the blessings through it all. And when you say that it effed it up, like it really just took the deck of cards and threw it all up, but it came down into a beautiful house of cards with a foundation that it doesn't sound like you had prior.
exactly. Exactly. So it's not for the faint of heart.
No, it isn't, but it is when, and I feel like, again, right now, we're in 2025. This is a number nine freaking year for the world. And God bless you if you were in a personal number nine year. We're here to help you because I've been through it. And my number nine year personally, I checked every box. Like, I don't
Yeah.
even know how I came out of it. Like, every box. So, this is the time to dive into you and who are you and why are you here? And,
Yeah.
that is always the essence that I start with when people come to me because you don't know what you don't know until you know. And then
Yeah.
when you know better, well, it's time to do better.
Yeah. Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. So I just feel like it aligns you with your mission in life, to say it in the most simple way.
Absolutely. Like while you're here, it's so amazing. Well, all of Heather's information is going to be over in the show notes at jenniferpilates.com. Don't forget, if you have not listened or watched our first episode, please jump back and do that because, we just have so much fun together and we're fabulous and you should go check it out because there is so much more depth in the layers of the human design that we talked about there too. So lots more gems there. Heather, as we close out today, is there one last piece of inspiration, advice that you'd like to leave with us today?
I say it's never too late. It's never too late to like really get to know yourself and explore who you are. And the more time you spend really going inwards, it's pays off in spades. Like your life really just expands from that place of like inward clarity.
Beautiful. I love that. Thank you so much, Heather, for your energies, for your insights, for coming back. You are such a ray of light, and I'm so honored
Mm.
to have you in my life. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me, Jennifer. I'm so glad that our paths crossed and we met, and it's been so fun to get to collaborate with you.
It really has. Well, I look forward to many more collaborations in the future.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, as we say, everyone, until next time, may you live an empowered life from within. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe to Empowered Within with Jennifer Pilates. Your feedback is important. It helps me to connect with you and gives me insight into who you are and what you're enjoying about the show. For today's show notes and discount codes from today's sponsors, head over to jenniferpilates.com. Until next time, may you live an empowered life from within.